Hello there guys, what is going on? Son of Chelsea back here again for another edition of Let's Talk Chelsea. Hope you're doing well and keeping safe. It's amazing to be able to talk about the breaking news and say these magical words. Kai Havertz is officially a Chelsea player. He has signed for Chelsea Football Club. Finally, the deal has been confirmed. One of the biggest and hopefully one of the best in Chelsea's history has been announced. It's dragged on a little bit. I think we've known the deal has been done for a little bit now. It was finally waiting for Kai Havertz to be announced officially by the club. All the permutations around that, getting this deal over the line, how big it was, how excited people were. And it's great to see on social media how excited Chelsea fans are by this deal, the positivity around this transfer, the magnitude of this transfer, which we hope will only grow as Kai Havertz plays for Chelsea and gets better over his career. You think about how young he is as well. We're going to get into all of that in today's video. I really want to go back, think about a few months ago when we were first linked to Kai Havertz, how we've got to where we are now, also the quality of Kai Havertz and looking into the future with this incredible player signing for Chelsea under Frank Lampard. But before we get into any of that, I want to ask you guys, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Also, if you're excited about Kai Havertz becoming a Blue, hit that like button because it helps out the channel as well. So just recent news, of course, we found out, I believe it was late Tuesday night through Christian Falk and Fabrizio Romano, that Kai Havertz made his medical check on Sunday in London. So he did his medical low-key, very secret, very swift business. And I think this deal, firstly, I think you can talk about this when, you know, Hakim Ziyech, Timo Werner, Ben Chilwell, and now Kai Havertz, and I think maybe as well Thiago Silva. Of course, we think of that as more a short-term signing. But just generally, and I think maybe this is the full stop on this point, it's how quickly and how swift Chelsea have turned around their transfer dealings in terms of planning, in terms of going in for first choice targets, getting those first choice targets over the line in such a quick manner, in such a swift manner. Yes, this deal has dragged on, but I think when you appreciate the magnitude of this deal, this being one of the biggest in Chelsea's history, I think you have to understand that, why it's taken a little bit longer, how much Kai Havertz is rated across Europe, and why Chelsea wanted to get this deal over the line, and Bayer Leverkusen wanting as much money as they got, and it being a club record fee as well. I think it just shows the sea change and the positive change we've seen from Chelsea a few years ago, that infamous, disastrous summer 2017 transfer window, the panic buys, the short-term thinking. Now, of course, with transfers, especially these ones, the likes of Ben Chilwell, Ziyech, Werner, Silva and Havertz, you're going to have to wait about a year to make a judgment on them, of course, and probably longer than that for some of these players as well. But I think just the intention of backing a manager, I've spoken about this before, I think is so important for Chelsea, and I think it really shows it with Kai Havertz really backing a vision, Chelsea not messing around, going in for some of the best players in Europe and getting them over the line. So firstly, I want to talk about and cast your minds back to about March, April time. Chelsea were being linked to Philippe Coutinho at the time, and I remember on this channel, if you've been a long subscriber a few months back, I was talking a lot about central midfield and why personally for me in this specific transfer window, I didn't think Chelsea needed to sign a central midfielder. I just felt it was the one area of our squad that just did not need major investment. And I felt that Philippe Coutinho at the time when we had been linked to him felt a bit like a luxury signing to me. Was central midfield really a priority for Chelsea this summer? The COVID impact on Chelsea's spending, could we spend that money wisely elsewhere in more key positions that needed strengthening? That was a concern personally to me. And you saw in an Athletic article, I believe in the time, about Philippe Coutinho when we were being linked to him, just a small line that Chelsea were interested in Kai Havertz. They were just interested in him, and you sort of felt at the time, dismissed it. It was just like, well, of course, one of those players I'm sure that's on a list somewhere. But Chelsea really going to go out there and spend a lot of money on Kai Havertz. Then I believe it was after signing Timo Werner, it became pretty apparent that Chelsea were more than just admirers of Kai Havertz, and you started to discover and understand this unique, raw talent, world-class talent. Many people feel the shades of the Eden Hazard deal in 2012, a unique opportunity to sign someone of Havertz's potential and class. We got a chance to watch Havertz firsthand in this false nine position, how effective he played, his incredible movement, his intelligence on a football pitch. You discovered more about his career, what he'd done, how he'd progressed over the years, and why many people believe he's going to become one of the best players in the world. And I think from there, seeing Chelsea's interest, seeing the quality of the player, the form of the player, why the likes of Real Madrid and Bayern Munich can't go in for a player of this quality, and Chelsea have a unique opportunity to do the deal. I think it became pretty apparent this was the deal that needed to be done, and Chelsea needed to go out there and get Kai Havertz to Stamford Bridge this summer. And then I looked at central midfield, Chelsea's central midfield, and what did Chelsea's midfield lack? We lacked goals. I think that's the first thing for me. Chelsea have lacked goals in central midfield for a number of years, and they've lacked it since Frank Lampard left. We've lacked a natural, reliable goal scorer. You look at the goals from Chelsea's midfield, and you look at some of those midfielders who lack goals from midfield: Jorginho, Kovacic, Kante, Barkley. Mason Mount's the only one that stands out from that as sort of a consistent goal scorer, at least someone you feel can score goals and improve in that area. But a lot of Chelsea's midfield isn't really full of goals, and I think that's been a massive problem for us in recent years. So rectifying some of that by bringing in a player who does have that natural goal-scoring instinct, I think was a big thing for me behind this deal. That Lampard link, of course, there's that Michael Ballack link in terms of a German midfielder of his age performing the way he does, the type of player he is. The movement, the intelligence of movement. It's not just about goals for me. In between the lines, finding pockets of space, anticipation for goals is a big thing for me as well with Kai Havertz, but also how the creative side of his game has developed in the last season too. I think that's a big part of Chelsea when we're moving on and sort of thinking about how we're going to break down low blocks. I think about those games against West Ham, Bournemouth, Southampton at home last season. Frustrating games, low blocks where Chelsea lacked invention, sideways passing, so many sideways passing from Chelsea, and that spark or extra bit of guile or instinct for a goal that Lampard crazed from his team just wasn't there. It's not only on Havertz, and I think when you look at the number of players at Chelsea's disposal this season in attacking areas, it's really going to be exciting to see how those combine and how all of those players break down and deal with low blocks. And I think that's a massive problem for Lampard to solve, and I think Kai Havertz is going to do a lot to solve that this season. Also, the flexibility and versatility of a player like Kai Havertz, I think, is a massive thing for Frank Lampard. I really do. I think when you compare Kai Havertz and the type of profile player he is to the likes of Hakim Ziyech and Timo Werner, yes, they play in different positions. Yes, they offer different things to your side, but I think all of those players can play in different positions in different systems. I've referenced Mason Mount before, not comparing the quality of the player, just the sense that Frank Lampard has used Mason Mount a lot in different positions. He's played him in central midfield. He's played him out wide. He's played him as an inverted winger at times in a 3-4-3. And I think he sees flexibility as a big part of his attacking next season. I think he sees a lot of those players, the likes of Werner, Pulisic, Ziyech, Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, being able to rotate, being able to move in and out of positions in an attacking sense and really make Chelsea a dynamic and really threatening side. And I think that's what Kai Havertz is going to bring to Chelsea along with those other players as well. And it just makes you so excited as a fan seeing all these players play for Chelsea this season and how Frank Lampard can put them out there to create the best attacking play for Chelsea. Overall, though, this is a massive statement by Chelsea Football Club, not only to the Premier League rivals and what Chelsea are going to do in the Premier League and aim to do in the coming years, but also to European football. The statement, the massive statement of Chelsea's intentions under Frank Lampard, I think is so positive for the club. And linking it to Eden Hazard in 2012, you think about Hazard, what he did to Chelsea, how he improved Chelsea. Hazard very much defined his era at Chelsea Football Club. Could Kai Havertz replicate that, make his era at Chelsea a defining one for his legacy? I think that's a big thing. And these are big words, but this is a player that is so highly rated and so highly thought of, people predicting that he may be one of the top 3 footballers in the world in the coming years. We've talked about Kai Havertz for so long. I think you underestimate the talent Chelsea are buying here because you're so used to talking about Kai Havertz coming to Chelsea. But actually, when you step back, look at the player, look at the career he's already had at such a young age and the potential he could go to, the levels he could reach at Chelsea, I think it just shows you how good of a deal this is for Chelsea and how big of a deal this could be in the coming years. Those are my thoughts on Kai Havertz officially becoming a Chelsea player. I'm sure you guys will be reacting to it in the comments. Interested to hear your thoughts. But thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you did enjoy it, hit that subscribe button and a notification bell so you never miss an upload. Follow me on Twitter @SonOfChelsea, and I'll see you again.